Hey there guys, it's Rick here with Gateway Airguns and Airgun Web. We are going to be shooting the Air Venturi Avenger Bullpup Gen 2. And we just mounted our scope with the West Hunter adjustable height mounts, which is really cool. Makes bullpups easier for me to shoot, so I love them. But before we start doing some shooting and sighting in our scope, we're going to set our hammer spring. Have you guys ever done that before? Let's get started. All right, this gun is the Gen 2 version of the Air Venturi Bullpup. So why does that matter? Why do we care? Well, they made some cool changes. One is they moved the cocking lever from back here to up front, which is where it's supposed to be. And they've done some other changes. They've maintained the ability to adjust the gun externally. And so when the Avenger came out, it was like, it might have been the first affordable, fully adjustable, user tunable, externally without having to take the gun apart, air gun on the market. It was $300-ish. You could tune the reg, adjust the hammer spring, adjust the trigger. There's a lot you could do with it. This continues that forward. The bullpup version now, they've made the scope rail a little bit lower. For me, that meant I need to find higher mounts, but anyway, that's why we did the video on the West Hunters. And it moved that cocking lever. You still maintain your adjustability. Now, our gun shipped at 3,000 PSI, well, 2,900 PSI for the reg, which is like full out. That's like turned up to 11 or 10, and that's it. The hammer spring was not, however, all the way in. So don't know what we can get. We're gonna be shooting 18-13s today. I don't know what we can get out of this power-wise. What I have done at this point is I've backed the hammer spring all the way out. So we are starting with like very little force on the valve. So the way this works, you have pressure here. It goes into a chamber called a plenum, which the regulator puts a certain amount of pressure into that. That plenum is your charge, your volume. So you have a set volume of air at a set pressure. That gets released by the hammer that hits the valve. So if you just tap it, only a little comes out. If you slam it, a whole lot comes out, right? So if you don't want to mess with your regulator adjustment, so you got the reg adjusted where you want it, and you just want to vary your energy or your velocity by varying the hammer spring, you can do that, okay? So you can balance hammer spring and reg pressure and kind of find your spot and then fine tune it with probably the hammer spring. Trying to adjust the reg up and down, I think, is not ideal. It does wear the reg out too. So kind of get your reg where you want it and leave it. This is set like full tilt. Now, personally, I would optimize this down. I would shoot pellets out of this. I'm not into shooting slugs per se. So I would optimize this for pellets, probably 18-13s, although I do want to check the new heavier 22 cal JSB. So another video, another day. But optimizing this for me, I would bring the reg down to say 2200 and then find the hammer spring that gives me what I want, and then I would lock it down and leave it. But today, let's see how much we can get out of it, right? So we've got our reg is from the factory, 3,000 PSI, 2,900 PSI, and we've got a full gun at 4,000 and some change PSI. So let's see what we can get. We're at the hammer springs all the way out. We're gonna go in half turn and just see what kind of changes we get. Now, the hammer spring uses a 2.5 mil Allen wrench, and there's an access port at the back of the gun. So we, again, are at 0. And as you screw it in, you increase the tension on the spring. It hits the valve harder. It opens the valve with more force, allowing the valve to stay open longer. It allows more air to come through. So that's essentially what we're doing. We are adjusting how much air gets through that valve and pushes our pellet. So our first shot, and I have no idea what we're going to do here. You are learning right along with me. I don't even know if this is going to register, so we'll give it a shot here. We are going to artillery hold it, literally artillery shot, I should say, at 250. So I haven't sighted the scope either, so we're just going to get an idea here. That was 808. This is on silent. And that was pretty funny because I wasn't aiming. I wasn't even looking down the scope. It happens to be on the pig, and we hit it. Go figure. It's a little bit high. We're going to take another shot. So that is 808 with 1813s. That is giving us 26.3 foot-pounds right out of the rip. Okay. Okay, so a little bit more. Let's get this to settle in here. I don't know where I'm hitting really. Underneath it. There we go. Okay, so we're 830. That's pretty good. That is 27.7. Let's give it a half a turn. So we're going to take this, and this is our access port. We're going to go, make sure you're not cocked. Make sure you're decocked. And give it half a turn up. See if that makes any difference. Yes, it did. Let's take another shot. That was only half a turn. 847. Okay. So we went from 830 to, say, 850 average. Let's do another half turn. Okay. So now we're one full turn in. 873. Okay. 881. All right, we're still climbing. Let's do another half turn. Okay. 899. One more. 898. Okay, we're almost 900 foot per second. Let's see. Got one pellet left. Let's go ahead and refill our mag. And then we will give another half turn. All right, here we go. 898. Oh, that's just where we were. Okay, there's 10 shots. Let's go up another half turn. That's pretty stable. We got 899, 898, 898. Another half turn. Oh, and I cocked it. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, don't do that. 906. Okay. That was an error. 908. Okay, we didn't jump that high that time. If you notice, we've been going up. Well, no, that's about right. We had the biggest difference was like that first go round, but now we are we're not seeing as much. Let's do another half turn. 930. That was a good jump. 932. Do we go another one? Why not? Let's do it again. Another half turn. 947. 949. It's really stable. I mean, there are some variations, but that's super stable. Another half turn. Okay. 952. Okay. 959. Didn't have a big jump there, did we? Let's do another half turn and see what we get. Okay. How are we doing on pellets? Yeah, let's put some pellets in. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. 965. We're not getting a lot right now, are we? 965. Let's see if we get anything more out of it. Another half turn. A little bit. Just inching.
972.
We're going to keep going till we don't get any benefit. We might bottom out.
979.
Okay.
983.
Do we have any more gas in the tank? We're really just kind of just cranking power for cranking's sake. We're out. All right, so let's see. Let's see how many we got there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so 10, so 5 turns. We got 5 turns in. I think if I'm looking at my settings, 950 is about where I want to be. Let's see if we can find that spot again. So let's go. Oh, we need to top off our gun because we're out. So 24 shots in this mucking around puts our pressure at 3,000 PSI. Our reg's at 2,900. So we need to stop. And let's see. If we're all the way done, let's do 3 turns. That's 1, 2, 3. I think that's right. Let me try that again. Okay, yeah, that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 3 turns. I think we're going to be good there. We'll try it. I'm going to top this off. We'll be right back to validate our results. Let's see if we got her locked in. So, first thing I'm going to do is just clear it, let the rag settle from that fill, top our mag off, and then we'll see where we're at 3 turns. I want to be at like 950, I think. Ideally what you do, if that's where, let's say you found your most accurate at 935, then you set it at 935 and then verify it. Or you think you're going to be 950 and you then start shooting and you're not accurate. Well, maybe that you're a little too fast, or maybe you're not quite fast enough. That's where the other part becomes really, we'll call it fun, time consuming, because you got to validate, right? Okay, next shot. Where am I going to be here?
947.
I'm right there. Take another shot. I'm not going to split hairs over 947 or 950.
946. 950.
Here we are.
942.
Okay, so we're between 942 and 950. That's going to be where I personally, I like 950 for 1813s, generally speaking. So that's going to be our starting point. I was surprised, frankly, if I'm thinking, I was surprised that we didn't kind of top out. I would have expected, say, at 4.5 or so that we sort of reached our limit, but it looked like there was even a little more room to go. So I don't know, maybe a different hammer spring with a little more energy to give you even a little more smack on the valve might be something to investigate if you want to get in and actually change parts out. But out of the box, we went from 800 to, we started at 808 and we ended at we went all the way up, excuse me, to 980. So 180 feet per second we have range. That's a lot just in the hammer spring. So definitely some fine tunability there. You might want to go up 1/2 turn to be like just over 950, but I'm actually happy with this. So 3 turns, factory reg setting, I'm between 940 and 950, and I'd be pretty happy with that. Our energy went from 26.3 to 35.7 foot-pounds. So you can see just what made, well, you can see one of the things that made the Avenger line so popular. We didn't have to take the gun apart. We just, Allen key, chronograph, dial it in, and you're good to go. That's pretty cool, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to do the reg too, so stay tuned for that video. We'll degas it. We'll go through the process of degassing it, and then we will set our minimum reg pressure, gas the gun, and then bring the reg up where I think we want to be. And then we'll adjust. It gets tricky when you start dealing with reg pressure, because is it better because the reg's higher or lower, or is it the hammer spring? And so you sort of got to find your reg pressure, and then hammer spring, I think, is the better scenario, but I wanted to see what we could get with the factory brake pressure. That's going to be it for now, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Again, hope you enjoyed the video. Links to everything be in the video description. My name's Rick with Airgun Web and Gateway Airguns. Thanks for watching. Bye.